I really appreciate the question, and it's one of the most important things we're doing. Omniverse, first of all, just what is it? It's a simulator. It's a simulator that's physically accurate and physically based. And it was made possible because of two fundamental technologies we invented. One of them is, of course, RTX, the ability to physically simulate light behavior in the world, which is ray tracing. The second is the ability to compute or simulate the physics of, simulate the artificial intelligence behavior of agents and objects inside the world. So we have the ability now to simulate physics in a realistic way, and we created an architecture that allows us to do it in the cloud, distributed computed way, and to be able to scale it out to very large systems. So the question is, what would you do with such a thing? This simulator is a simulation of virtual worlds with portals. We call them connectors, portals based on a industry standard, open standard that was pioneered by Pixar. And as we mentioned earlier, that we're partnering with Pixar and Apple to make it even broadly adopted, even more broadly adopted. It's called USB, Universal Scene Description. They're basically portals or wormholes into virtual worlds. And this virtual world could be simulating it could be a concert for consumers. It could be a theme park for consumers. In the world of the industries, you could use it for simulating robots, so that robots could learn how to be robots inside these virtual worlds before they're downloaded from the simulated to the real world. You could use it to simulate factories, which is one of the early works that we've done with BMW that I showed at GTC. Factory of the future that is designed completely in Omniverse, simulated in Omniverse, robots trained in Omniverse, with goods and materials that are its original CAD data put into the factory, the logistics plan like an ERP system, except this is an ERP system of physical goods and physical simulation simulated through this Omniverse world, and you could plan the entire factory in Omniverse. This entire factory now becomes what is called a digital twin. In fact, it could be a factory, it could be a stadium, it could be an airport, it could be an entire city, it could be a fleet of cars. These digital twins would allow us to simulate new algorithms, new AIs, new and optimization algorithms before we deploy it into the physical world. And so what is Omniverse? Well, Omniverse is going to be an overlay, if you will, of virtual worlds that increasingly people call the metaverse. And we've now heard several companies talk about the metaverse. They all come from different perspectives. Some of it from social perspective, some of it from a gaming perspective, some of it, in our case, from an industrial and design and engineering perspective. But the Omniverse is essentially an overlay of the internet, an overlay of the physical world, and it's going to fuse all these different worlds together long term. And you'll be able to, you mentioned VR and AR, you'll be able to go into the Omniverse worlds using virtual reality. And so you wormhole into the virtual world using VR. You could have an AI or an object portal into our world using augmented reality. So you could have a beautiful piece of art that you somehow purchased and it belongs to you because of NFT. And it's only enjoyed in the virtual world, and you can overlay it into your physical world using AI. And so I'm fairly sure that at this point the Omniverse or the metaverse is going to be a new economy that is larger than our current economy. And we'll enjoy a lot of our time in the future in Omniverse and the metaverses. And we'll do a lot of our work there, and we'll have a lot of robots there doing a lot of our work on our behalf. And we'll wake up in the morning and they show us results. And so Omniverse to us is an extension of our AI strategy. It's an extension of our high-performance computing strategy, and it makes it possible for companies and industries to be able to create digital twins that simulate their physical version before they deploy it and while they operate.
Thank you. I will now turn the call over back to Mr. Jensen Huang for closing remarks.
Thank you. We had an excellent quarter fueled by surging demand for NVIDIA computing. Our pioneering work in accelerated computing continues to advance graphics, scientific computing, and AI. Enabled by NVIDIA accelerated computing, developers are creating the most impactful technologies of our time, from natural language understanding and recommender systems to autonomous vehicles and logistics centers to digital biology and climate science research to metaverse worlds that obeys the laws of physics. This quarter, we announced NVIDIA Base Command and Fleet Command to develop, deploy,